What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Look, I'm sitting here reading the comments as I'm waiting, and the first comment is, why did y'all make Mega Cash Days so long? Well, it turns out that, when you got 64 cars, you kind of got to do it. So, it takes a while to get all that racing done. But, look, we got a great show tonight. It feels like a Tuesday. It feels like a Tuesday. I can't explain it. Just something about it. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Hang on one second. I got to cut my music off. I can still hear it playing in the background. One second. Let me get my music off real quick. There we go. All right. Music's gone. It feels like a Tuesday. I think I know why it feels like a Tuesday. We got some listeners that gave themselves numbers for some reason. They're in the comment section. I don't know what that means, but you know what? I got a special guest tonight. Look, y'all may know him. Y'all may have seen him. He's kind of a big deal. He is the OG race master from 405. Mr. Big Chief is in the house. Chief, where you at?
I'm jamming to that music, dog. I'm just.
Yeah, I told you, man. It gets you hype. It gets you hype.
That intro song goes hard, bro. It's so hard.
Man, I was ready to kick the camera over. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was gonna ruin the podcast right off the bat by kicking the camera over. That's how intense it is.
You ruined the podcast by putting me on it.
Yeah, I know, man. It feels like a Tuesday. Does it not feel like a Tuesday to you?
It does, bro. I'm in the meth shack. There are bullet holes staring at me. There's all kinds of dusty podcast equipment here that hasn't been used in a long time. It feels like other than Sean not being here, it feels like a Tuesday.
Man, and the thing about it is, dude, you're right. Y'all always said it's live, but not live. But guess what? It's fucking live.
This shit right here is live.
Yeah, it's live. So,
what do you think about my beard, dog? What do you think? Didn't know I could do it, did you? Didn't know I had it in me.
You're so handsome. You're so handsome.
I got a little gray in there. That's why I'm standing way back here in the dark. I don't want anybody to see the grayness. Showing through.
No, man.
So what's up, man? Great. What's this all about? What's the point of all that? What's this all about? What do we do here?
Man, we're just here to talk to you today. Ain't nothing special. Just here to talk to you. That's
it. You have top 10 questions and stuff?
Yeah, what we do is, so you may remember, but we had this little race called Mega Cash Days. Just a little race.
Oh, yeah.
And you took part in it.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember.
Yeah. So what we do every Tuesday is we kind of recap it. We have some special guests, and it turns out you got called up to be the special guest to talk to me about the Mega Cash Days. So how you feel about that?
I'm honored. I'm honored just to be asked, just to be involved. I'm honored.
Well, good, man. It's a pleasure to have you here. This past Monday night, we had, I think, night 5. So that would have been the third bracket. And, the comments were like, man, this is just too long of a race. And it's like that. I mean, that happens when you have a double elimination tournament of 64 people. It's going to take a little while to get it across the airwaves. I'm sorry. So
it seems longer, though, when like 20 of them are no fun to look at, not saying any names. It does seem longer because of some of them.
Yeah, no, man. And I get it. It's just like, here's my deal. People bitch because there ain't enough racing, and people bitch because there's too many racing, too much racing. Yeah. So you never make everybody happy. So, yeah. But no, man, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of recap some of the races. We're going to show some of your races. We're going to relive some of those races and what happened. So that'll be fun. And if you can keep up, there's comments just flying down this whole right side of my screen right now, and I can't keep track of them.
I see them over there, man, and it's all the OG listeners. It's all the OG. And they've all got numbers, and they're all talking about all the stuff we're not allowed to talk about. So
That's right. And
it's funny. I
yeah,
can't believe them people are still around. Like, how in the hell are people still talking about that fucking show?
because that show was awesome, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I waited until like I would sit there and wait. I think it'd be Wednesday when it would come out, and I would just wait for it to update. I'm not even lying. I'd be sitting at work like, come on, when are they gonna upload it? And then y'all piss me off because y'all would just like not do one for 3 weeks, and I'd be like, fuck, you know? And I'm sure all the rest of the listeners are the same way. They'd be like, what the fuck,
Oh
you know?
yeah. But they're diehard though. Even when we would miss a month or two, they'd be like, "No, man, they do it every Tuesday. They're
Yeah.
ride or die. Them people ride or die."
Every Tuesday, every Tuesday. So they like to call themselves the piece of shit listeners. They're all in the comment section right now. POS number 46. Rob Nunya. I feel like that's an
If
alias,
you
dude. Thanks for being
if
here,
you
man.
listen, yeah, if you listen to that show, you are a real piece of shit. There's no doubt about it.
For sure, for sure. So, but look, let's jump into it again. Night 5, bracket number 3. I said it on the show. I'll say it again. Chief, you were the lucky person to get stuck in a strong ass bracket, dude. I mean, you're in there with Dave. You're in there with Larry Larson, Robin Roberts. I mean, Mike Murillo. Like, you know, it was a stacked bracket, dude. Like, first of all, like, how do you feel about having a double elimination cash days? Like, this is new shit. We've never done it before. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it was good for somebody like me who, normally the more hits I get at a road, the better I get. You know what I mean? So, and I usually have, one or two fucked up situations or mistakes, or I shank it, or I leave early, or whatever. Anyway, so, I kind of felt like it was almost made for me. You know what I mean? It was almost my type of race. It was like you get one redo and, come back and you can win the whole thing. So I don't know. I was excited about it. It, you know, just, man, it just, I don't know why I keep investing money in that cash days stock because it's not paying off. I don't know. Maybe I should stop.
No, man, dude, you invest in that stock because it's in your blood, and you're gonna show up for every big cash days. You're gonna be there every cash days that they say we want the fastest big tire cars. It's not a cash days unless Big Chief is in it. So that's why you're gonna be at every single one of them right there. Like,
But yeah, I'm gonna throw my money in the hat either way. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I feel like I'm one of the best in the world on the street. So I can't walk around talking that and putting that shit on a t-shirt if I ain't out beating the street up doing the same shit. You know what I mean? So walk it like you talk it. That's what I try to be.
that's right. That's right, man. Well, look, I feel the same way. This whole double elimination thing, even though I didn't race in it, like this was almost a dream for me if I would have raced in it, because usually, all I need is a hit at the road, right? Just one hit. Give me one hit, and it's game time. You've got data, and you only go faster. So I totally feel you, on that side of things. It totally makes sense. But look, man, we were stuck in this small ass town of Scottsbluff, Nebraska for I don't know how many weeks doing this shit. And, some of these people don't realize what all goes into making this big ass tournament, and that's what this show kind of tries to do, is to try to let them know that, look, it ain't all slammed into an hour worth of viewing. You know what I mean? Like there's so much behind the scenes stuff. So, but
Yeah.
no,
And the
man,
thing is,
that totally makes sense.
I'll be honest. Like I've been to a lot of big races. I've been to a lot of big money, whatever, big energy. I've been to big track races, big street races, whatever. But the thing that really shocked me about this one was when you're all stuck in this little town, you know what I mean? And there's only so many roads. Think about it, if you're Scottsbluff, Nebraska, right? You got like a population of probably 13,000, 14,000 people, maybe. And all of a sudden, one day, 64 teams of outlaw street racers show up out of fucking nowhere, and there's no room for them. And then half of them are trying to test every night. You know what I mean? So there was so much testing going on at Mega Cash Days. It was insane because there was like 2 weeks before some of us had to race. So we're just stuck in this town testing, and we were testing. There was times where, believe it or not, I was pulling up to test. Me and Jackie were in the truck. We were by ourselves. We're rolling up to test. Dude, it's fucking hilarious. We was rolling up to test. We found this spot the day before. And we were like, man, this is gonna be a good spot to test. It's almost just like the race road. So we skeeted out early one of the race nights. We're rolling up to this spot. We pull over in the dark. It's me, Jeff Lutz, and Jackie. And we hear some dude saying, hey, hey. And I was like, what the fuck? So I threw the bitch in gear and I start peeling off with pulling the trailer and we're running. And these dudes are waving flashlights and shit at us. And I was like, fuck that. And Jeff was like, it's a dead end. Where are you going to go? I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm getting the hell out of here. And then it was, Chief, stop. So finally, Jackie's like, it's not cops. So I stopped. And Robin Roberts comes running up to the truck. Oh, fucking, Central Power Systems himself. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? He was like, I was hiding in the ditch. I was like, why? He's like, because we're going to test here. I was like, what the fuck are you doing hiding in a ditch, man? And he said, we're going to make some hits here. And I was like, well, so am I. And he said, well, would you mind if you didn't? And I was like, yeah, I kind of would. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to make a hit here. And he was like, well,
yeah, I'm making a hit.
Yeah, he's like, if you're going to make a hit anyway, he's like, pull over here where we parked our shit. And then, you can make a hit and we'll all go out and make a hit at the same time. So out of nowhere, I never in a million years would I expect to see be in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, testing illegally with Larry Larson and Robin Roberts. it was insane, and we tested almost all night there. We made 3 or 4 hits. They had this, fat little setup where you was off the road, duck back, and then you pull down the road, made a hit, and then as we're testing there, Derek Travis drives by in his truck and we're hiding in the ditch. We're like, oh shit, that's Derek. He slows way down. He starts looking at the marks, and he's thinking about unloading that motherfucker. And then he drove off. We're like, thank God. Then half an hour later, whatever, we were back there working on the shit and we hear this fucking nitrous car doing a burnout. We're like, what the fuck? We go running out there. And it's, of all people, it's the dipshit with the Lumina, B-Rad or whatever.
Oh, B-Rad. Yeah, B-Rad. Yeah.
So we look out there, B-Rad is doing a burnout. He done pushed this shit over there with a golf cart from across the highway to where we was at. And he makes a hit, and all of a sudden there's 20 people coming out of the ditch because we was all standing hiding in the ditch waiting. So, dude, that part was probably, other than the racing, being able to race for $100,000, anytime you get to race for $100,000, that's fucking huge. You know what I mean? And being able to race for a living in that moment, you know what I mean? Like we were staying up there. That's all we were doing was racing. So, it was all about winning money to pay bills. So just that alone is big enough. But man, seeing and being around all of that testing from like dudes that I would never think, like if you look at B-Rad, you ain't gonna think he's no G, you know what I mean? Like he puts on, but he's cool, but I wouldn't think he'd be out there beating the street up, and there he was, dude, fucking beating the street up as loud as ever. Then Larry Larson, of all people, you know what I mean? Flintstone himself, he's making hit after hit after hit. Like these dudes was not worried about going to jail, you know what I mean? And that's something that when you're in that big race or when you go to all these races, there's usually not that kind of time in between to see that stuff. So you think to yourself, man, these dudes shouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? A lot of people think Robin Roberts and Larry Larson and, guys like B-Rad, they shouldn't be at cash days. They ain't no cash. They ain't about cash days. They ain't OG, but then it's like, you say whatever you want, but half the OGs was at the hotel asleep, and B-Rad, Larry Larson, and Robin Roberts making hits. You know what I mean? Like that's something that said something to me. I had a whole new respect for a lot of them dudes.
That's right, man. You're absolutely right. I can tell you if someone would have told me, like 3 years ago, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be making illegal hits next to Larry Larson and Robin Roberts on the street. I'm telling you, I'd be like, shut the what? No, dude, get out of here. Like, man, I drove through town one day and I just started looking around, and every piece of straight concrete was just tore up with rubber and tire marks all over town, dude. It was just amazing. I'm sure these people were like, y'all are just effing up our streets in this town. Because if we found a piece of straight concrete, we were making a hit. It didn't matter. So
it was priceless because there's those one dudes that just can't risk it for whatever reason, and I get it. You can't risk it. I get it. Ain't nobody gonna beg you to go out and put your shit in the street. That ain't me. If that's not what you, that's not what you do. I ain't no disrespect to nobody. So those dudes was, sleeping and getting sleep, and they show up to the race and they're, smiling, everything's cool. And you could tell who was the ones out there with us, because man, they was dragging their ass the next day trying to go to that street race and help their buddies and shit. And we had been out all night. There was a couple times that I was out testing. I saw you at 4 a.m. out of fucking nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? And you're like, oh, we was down the road testing. We couldn't about it, So it was cool as hell. To be honest with you, that part, that's what got me the most. That's what made it so much damn fun. Was like we're testing, and you see, like Ryan Martin driving down the highway, drops the door on 81, makes a hit. You know what I mean? Like that's. That kind of shit was like, damn, these dudes want this, you know what I mean? And then, dude, the craziest OG shit I had seen came from somebody I don't know why, but I just didn't expect it. That was JJ. Like, I always like to be the last one out tested. You know what I mean? Like usually at the end of the night, I look around, I'm the only motherfucker still out there. So
Yeah.
And there was one night where we was down south testing by ourselves, and it was me, Jackie, and Jeff, and we had hid the truck and trailer on the way back to town, and we was putting the tune-up in it, getting the car warmed up and all ready, and we was going to hit the race spot. Like we had been off testing somewhere and got enough data, we was ready to hit the spot. So but we knew you hit the spot, you only get one lick. So we come strolling up to the spot, and there's 4 trailers pulling over the side of the road, and it was Ryan and Sean and Dave. And I was like, oh man, these motherfuckers beat us here. So they made a few hits, and we made a couple hits. Then PD Smallblock, he's up on the bridge in a minivan like a pervert, and he's taking pictures of it. And we were like, that's production. We're gonna get in trouble. We ain't supposed to be doing this. And then because we're on the race road, you ain't supposed to do that. So then PD Smallblock come down there. He's like, oh man, we was just fucking with y'all. So then he's hanging out, and then all of a sudden, Robin Roberts comes over. He's like, oh, or Larry Larson, whoever come over there and said, cops are coming. They called you. There's a campground nearby. Everybody heard y'all. So cops are coming. So everybody jumps in their shit and bails out. And it's just me, Jeff, and Jackie. We're still loading my shit up. And, we're the last to do anything. So we looked up, wasn't nobody around. So we jumped in the truck. We finally got it rolling. We come pulling up past the race spot where we was testing at. And there's like, of course, there's another half a mile straight before you get to the DOT place. So we was rolling up. We had the lights off. And there's another truck and trailer flies by us, fucking pulls over on the side of the road, dumps a fucking Nova out of it, pulls in the street. 5 girls is backing him up, pouring his pimp juice and shit. Me and Jackie and Jeff Lutz are sitting in the truck with the lights off in the middle of the street going, do they even know we're fucking here? So then they do a big ass burnout. He backs up. They got the trailer lights on, whole road's lit up now. And I was like, we're going to get to see JJ test. Like, we're going to get to see it. And then I started thinking, man, this is crazy. There's only 2 motherfuckers out here left testing on the race spot, and it's me and JJ the boss. Like, man, I never would have thought that'd be it. And then a cop pulls up right in the median. Larry Larson's in his dually going the other way. Cop pulls up in the median, turn the lights on. Fucking, I was like, oh shit, he's busted. So I was like, what do we do if we drive by? Like, so we just sat there, and then JJ put that motherfucker on the brake. Wah! Boom! Let off of it, made a full hit. Cop goes after him. He hits the fucking exit, turns the lights off. He's coasting as far as he can coast, and the truck and trailer went after him, and they pulled the truck and trailer over. I was like, that's how bad these motherfuckers wanted it. Like, they let off the button when the cherries and berries are right, the cops was right there with the lights on. He still let the button go, you know what I mean? Because it was for $100,000. Oh, dude, it was some of the most gangster shit I've ever seen. And it sucks because like a lot of that stuff don't get to make the show, but just man, just to know that shit was happening. That little town was fucking. It was lit, dude. There was every time you'd hear one over there, you'd hear one over there. It was like there was testing everywhere. It was crazy. It was so bad. They was testing in car washes and truck stops and shit. Like
truck stop, parking lots.
Yeah, and then about 5 a.m. we come back from testing, and we had dropped Jeff off. We was rolling through town, and we go to buy the Maynard's, the sporting goods store or whatever. I call it Maynard. We go by there, and Brent Self was there, and I stopped to talk to him, and a cop pulls up, and he's madder than hell, lights on shit. I was like, "What the fuck did I do?" Like, he walks up and he says, "Gentlemen, who drug that fucking Explorer off the road?" We're like, "What are you talking about?" Before, apparently, before I even got there, right before I didn't even know about the shit. Brenton and
Yeah.
Murillo and them got a test there, and somebody got a DUI in an Explorer right in the middle. So they left it in the road and they took his ass to jail. Well, they left it right in the middle of the test road. So all these crazy bastards drug it off the road with their pickup, like chained to it, drug it off the road.
Yeah.
Cop, dude, I was like standing there, like, man, I just got here, dog. Like, yes, I've been doing a bunch of illegal shit all night, but it wasn't here. Like, it was, everybody was so desperate to test. They were doing anything. And that's what made it like, that's what, at the end of the day, it's like, if that is what if people go through that much shit to be competitive in a race, then it's something that you want to win. It's just that's going to be a race that everybody remembers, because the being a month in Scottsbluff with nothing to do but test, man, there was some crazy shit. We all did some crazy shit in that little town.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like, like you said, Scottsbluff, like 13,000 people live there. And like, by the time the race was over, those people wanted us so far out of that town. It's not even funny. Like, I'm sure half of them wouldn't even serve us food. Like, we try to get food. They're like, oh, no, 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 no. Y'all need to go. Go now. Get out of this
Dude.
town.
Yeah,
Because it was just nonstop. It was nonstop.
when we first got to town, they was like, "Oh, it's so happy to have. We're so happy to have you on Scottsbluff. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. You guys are filming a TV show in Scottsbluff.
Yeah.
This is awesome, And then like 2 weeks into it, they're like, "Man, when y'all leaving? When's this deal over with?" And then next
Yeah.
two
I've
weeks,
been here a while.
2 weeks later, I'm like, "Howdy." They're like, "Fuck you. Like, get the fuck out." And
Yeah. Yeah.
they were done with us, dog. We had ruined that whole area. But I mean, that's it's overdrawn. I'm dramatizing a little bit, but for the most part, everybody in Scottsbluff was really cool. But man, they were tired of our shit for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, but you're right. I mean, I'm picturing my little town I live in, and if 64 racers came and just beat the shit out of all my roads around here, I mean, I'd be like, that's pretty cool for like the first week. Like 6 weeks into it, I'd be like, all right, I ain't getting no sleep because of you bastards. Y'all need to like go find somewhere else to go. So I can only imagine how those people felt. So
Every drive-through in the whole town had just been taken out by trailers. People trying to go through drive-through, and they're just ripping them out of the ground at 4 a.m. Man, that it was lit for sure. Mega Cash Days was a trip, man. It was a good time. We had a blast. Like, it's racing, so it's fun anyway. It's a good time, but it's always more fun when all the big dogs are there, people you don't get to see often. And then it's even more fun when dudes that you would never think would be out, doing that shit. It was a trip. There was a lot of cool shit that happened because of Mega Cash Days. I'm glad I got to be a part of it, and I'm glad as many people like watching it. You know what I mean? Like, because there's always that chance where you do something and you feel like it's cool, but then when it hits TV, you're like, oh, nobody else thought that was cool, But
yeah.
thankfully, Mega Best Days, people like it, man. People are watching it. It's a hit. I love it. I'm glad to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, speaking of that, man, I mean, Mega Cash Days, the OG 405 street list, like, if I'm not mistaken, as far as rating wise go, I mean, the two shows are absolutely killing it. And,
Oh yeah,
that just goes to
oh,
show
yeah.
you that, America, America has spoken. I mean, that's what they want, right? I mean, so, for the people that are watching the podcast, it's because of you is why we're still doing what we're doing. You give us the opportunity to be able to go have all this fun and tear these towns to pieces and rip up all these roads and literally have a waiting line at Menards to make a test hit. Like, I thought I had to draw a number just to make a damn test hit in my own car because there was a line of people trying to test. And I've never experienced that in my entire life. It's just insane, So
No,
it's all because of you people. I just can't thank y'all enough. So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's cool though because like I always thought this shit was cool. You know what I mean? When I'm doing it, I'm like, damn, this is cool. Like people are gonna love this shit. So when they do love it and when they do support it and they watch it, man, it just makes you feel like you just feel like what you're doing is right. You know what I mean? Like it. And there were some
Yep.
moments where I was testing with people I didn't want to be testing with. I was hanging out with people that I wouldn't normally be hanging out with. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
was it was hella cool. It really was. I'm glad it went
So
down. I'm glad, I've always kind of worried that the $100,000 cash days would be the shark. You know what I mean? Like I always felt like when we finally do $100,000 cash days, I kind of felt like that'd be it. Like where do you go from there? But to be honest with you, man, that deal was so big and so crazy that we could do another one just like it, and I think people would watch it. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, for sure, man. Pilgrim Studio killed it on the editing and the filming of this show. They did a great job with it. Like we said, I mean, it's a bunch of nights in a row, but dude, it's some badass racing. It's new, it's different, and it's cash days. Like we said at the very beginning, these guys need to take this race as the most important thing in their entire life, at that time. And, the majority of them did, like you said, and it was evident with the 4 a.m. test sessions, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., sun coming up, still making hits. I mean, these guys wanted it, and it really showed. So, I want to do it again. I hope we do it again. I hope you do it again. Because it was a great time.
Oh man, you know how it is. If they paying money to win a street race, I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? If there's money if somebody's gonna pay money to win, I'm gonna be there anyway. And then, if it's called cash days, what I mean? And man, cash days is so, it was so cool because nobody knew about it. It was such a big deal because it was just our thing. You know what I mean? It was just like a little thing that a few of us did, or got to do or got invited to. It was cool back in the day just to get invited to cash days. Like for real, it was a big deal. And then to see it go so far out of that realm, and then like there's a cash days every 3 days now, two of them every Saturday night, and it's like there's small tire cash days, big tire cash days, import cash days, rotary cash days, dirt bike cash days, RC car cash days. You know what I mean? Like it's so it gets for a while there it got to the point where like it didn't matter who won cash days because there was 50,000 cash days, but
Yeah.
then there was this cash days, which was like,
It's mega.
oh shit, oh it's
It's
mega
mega.
AF. You know what I mean? Like
So, yeah, I
so
mean,
only
dude, yeah.
it's the only
Yeah.
one like it. So it kind of this was the cash days that kind of set the distinction between all the other shit and the real deal. You know what I mean? Like, I mean all the other shit's still real, don't get me wrong, and I still love it. I still do it every week, whatever. But their cash days itself should be something bigger than the norm. You know what I mean? It should be bigger than the every weekend thing. You know what I mean? Like, and there really should be only a few people who get to call their shit cash days. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it that people are paying homage or whatever, but at the end of the day, really, there should be only a few people that get to hold a cash days or call it cash days. So,
Yeah.
and you're one of them people. You know what I mean? So, like, if you put it on and it's cash days, it's church. You know what I mean? Whoever wins that
Yeah.
shit's for real.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, man. Back in the day, I think cash days was what, twice a year?
Yep.
Maybe twice a year.
Maybe. Yep.
But that's all we did. I talked to Sean about this too. But for those 4 months or 5 months, like all we did was test and test and test and test, leading up to Limpy's cash days. Right? I mean, that's all we did. We knew we were going to race you guys, and we didn't want to lose to you guys. So we would just race each other and get as fast as possible. And I miss those days. DFW street scene's really gone kind of downhill. It's just not there anymore. But things change, and but we're still doing what we love to do, man. Like it's amazing. I never thought it would be to this level. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, shit. Who? What do you mean? You never thought? Nobody ever thought it'd be this level. Shit.
It's a
Ain't nobody in the
trap.
world would have said one day y'all gonna be doing this for 100 grand, 64 cars, 600,000 total payout. Like, shit, that don't only in America can some shit like that happen for illegal street racing. Which so I mean that's what's cool about it. But I hope we get to do another one. I hope I get another shot at it. I'm gonna go at that cash days till I win one or die trying.
That's right.
I've won just about every other motherfucking thing on the planet, but man, I can't win one of those to save my ass. I'll beat
Man.
Dave though. I'll beat
Yeah.
Dave.
Hey, speaking of, I do believe you and Dave were the third race from this little race night the other night. So look, let's go ahead and just roll this tape of you racing Dave in Mega Cash Days real quick. Let's
Yeah,
get it going.
roll it over and over, over. And
Yeah.
you notice my people got their shit together though. You notice when I win or when I lose, ain't nobody standing behind my car act like an idiot. You know what I mean? You notice, you know, when I
Yeah.
won, Jackie and Jeff hugged each other. They were happy. You know, that's we win and lose the same way. We're graceful either way. You know what I mean? Like there are times when I act a fool, you know, but those times are well deserved. Usually it's because I've lost so many times or whatever. But no, man, I love watching that and seeing that. You know, people seem to forget. Like I raced Dave on the list or in Oklahoma City or at the track or no prep or whatever. You know, I can race
Yep.
him. I'll beat him over and over and over until I was tired of beating up on him. You know what I mean? But then, man, I don't know what it is. When it came to cash days, he sealed that letter on me from the very first cash days. I mean, we went down to Texas for the very first one I ever put on, and it was me and him and you, the last three cars. And we flipped a coin. You got to buy into the final, so I had to race Dave, and he beat me right then and there. And dude, it just sealed it like a letter, signed, sealed, delivered, shipped, and it was like it didn't matter what happened from then on. I was going to draw him in the cash days, whether it was first round or the final, and he was going to beat my ass. Like that's just the way it's been going for years. So it was
That's
good to get
right.
that monkey off my back. It was real good to get that
Yeah.
monkey off.
And that's, even in the show, that's what I said when you pulled up, got out of your car. I was like, look, you got that monkey off your back, dude, you made a great pass. You had your shit together. It looked like Dave kind of maybe, he put too much in it. If you notice before the race, JJ's in Dave's ear talking about, Dave, you play it safe. You play it safe. You play it safe, man. I think Dave ran back to his laptop and was like, man, I ain't playing this shit safe. And took his line and just said, zip, like just straight up with it, a straight line. And, and I think he spun, but dude, you did work. You put the time in. You tested, and you made a great pass, man. And you got that monkey off your back. You now can say you have beat Dave in a Cash Days race. So,
Yeah, it
man,
wasn't the final, but it was for me. Hey, but you
it
gotta
don't
admit
matter.
though,
It
whatever
don't matter.
all the shit JJ said, usually when JJ talks, you know what I mean, you never know why he's talking. You never know you never know what he's getting at, you know what I mean? But all that shit
Yeah,
JJ said before that race, it was like it was like he was explaining the complexity of the situation and then flipping the roles as he was saying it, because it was like he's right. I go out there and swing for it every time, and Dave, he plays the odds and he'll get base hits. That's what he does. Like he said all that, but then it went down the exact opposite. Like I went down and made a lick and Barrett, didn't swing for nothing. I just tried to go down, and Dave swung
yeah,
for it because he was racing me. So it was like, man, I don't know. It was just one of those times where you make the decision on the car and it paid off. It was crazy. That was a wild night for whatever reason. It was a good time.
yeah, man, for sure. And you know what? Right after you got out of the car, hey, put the picture up. I there's this picture I saw on the show. Let's see if I can put it up real quick. It was pretty cool. See if we can put it up on here. Look at that. That's right when you got out of the car, man. Lightning strikes. You beat Dave. Lightning hit, man. I just had to.
I didn't even see that. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was right after you got out of the car. So
Yeah, you can
that was
you can
pretty
really
cool.
tell like when you watch the show, it's real. It's weird because like that night, the night before that round, right? It was me and Jeff, because Jeff had already raced, so Jeff was helping me. Thank God, because man, we were struggling. Me and Jackie was out
Mm,
testing, and she was all by herself. So she was pouring the shit, holding the car in the burnout. She's backing me up, and she's doing everything. Like there was nobody in the front. It was her. It was all her. So I was turning all the way around in the car trying to see, and she's holding that light up, trying to get me back to my marks. And we did that. And dude, when Jeff came and started helping us, man, it was a blessing. But if you look at that round, if you look at the dudes that did good that round, those were the dudes that I was with Larry Larson and Robin Roberts. We were testing together. That's no shit. We tested for 12 hours together in that spot probably. And then in that round, we made some of the fastest passes in that bracket, So it just, man, it shows you. It don't matter who you're with or what you're doing. If you test on a surface like what you're racing on, and you get it to where you can make it go. And then if you notice in the show, when the tune-up didn't right, I went to the last tune-up from the night before, and the title of that tune-up was TNT3 or TNT4 moved up
Yep.
3 squares. So we had
Yep.
tested for a few times, and then Jackie would move me up 3 squares, and I'd have to make a hit on nothing. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
that's what it takes, and that's what Larry and Robin were doing too. So we were doing that, and man, it's like that's the shit that pays off. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, all those nights where we're dragging ass and we ain't had no sleep, and we barely even been at the hotel, and all we've been doing is just running fuel out of that fucking car. You know what I mean? I was completely out of nitro. I was asking people on Facebook for nitro because I was out. And that's the shit that pays off, because on race day, it don't matter what tune-up goes in the car, you got something. You know what I mean? Like, even if you ain't got the tune-up that's in your computer because you don't know how to put it in there, you got the tune-up from last night that went down nothing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it was cool. I was really proud of Jackie and myself and Jeff, and proud of the car, man. It was just and Dave said it. Dave wasn't, as much as people think he was hating, he wasn't hating. He said, yeah, he went down. It wasn't fast, but he went down. Like, it looked fast because not many other people were going down. But to be honest with you, early, it wasn't fast. It might have been fast out the back, but it wasn't fast early. It just went. And that's what mattered.
That's right. No, man, you're exactly right. It all comes down to, who makes it from start to finish. You can have all the power in the world. It don't matter. So, dude, I've seen a question here of what does 481X LOL mean?
All right. So, well, the 481X is an engine combination. I believe that Proline made popular. It existed, I think, before that, but it was kind of a Proline thing. The 481X. It was like a Hemi with a wedge head, basically. So it was like a Hemi
Yep.
type short block, with big Hemi internals and shit. It had like a big Chevrolet head or something on it. You know what I mean? And they called it the 481X, and they sold that engine package, and it was shit. It was $100,000 to get one of those. It was all billet, no water. You know what I mean? Like the crate, the big dog stuff. So, and that's what everybody that I was racing, they all started getting those. It was like every time I turned around, somebody else had a 481X, and I couldn't figure out where they was getting them. You know what I mean? Like, all these dudes sitting on old man laps, or how are they getting these? You know what I mean? Like, they got, like, what are they doing to get these $100,000 motors? Everybody's got one. So then it was like, when I would beat one of them, it was like 481X LOL, and Chris Derrick, actually, the Duck from here, he used to street race back in the day, had a Mustang, and when the Camaro come out, had the LT1. You remember? Everybody's talking about
Yeah.
it had that wedge nose. Yeah, fourth gen Camaro come out, had the LT1, and those were fast. I mean, when we were in high school, that shit was kicking it. So Chris Derrick had a 20-year-old Mustang back then. You know what I mean? So he put on his tag LT1, haha. And man, I was like, dude, that's just shitting on them. You know what I mean? That's like they went out and spent the money. They spent the money, they bought the car, and he's laughing at them, and they got to see it because it's on the back of his car. So
Yeah.
whenever everybody went 481X, Ryan had one, Dave had one, Monza had one. I mean, damn, everybody had a 481X. You know what I mean? So I just kind of put a little something on there, just to fuck with them. Like, I still got the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, man. I get it. I just had to, you probably would have explained it better than I would, but yeah, that makes total sense to me now. So whoever asked it in the chat, thank you. And by the way, Dave's in the chat, so he can probably give his version of what 481X LOL means as well. But yeah, man. Hi, Dave. Good to see you in the chat room there. I've been seeing your comments. So basically, what Chief's saying is his little Pontiac motor. What size cubic inch is that?
It's 482, yeah. So it's a one over that 41X, and people think that too.
So it is
like,
bigger.
they think a 481X is 481 cubic inches, and I'm like, no, hell no, they're like 500-600 cubic inch motors, but they're just called a 481X shit. But no, mine's a 482 cubic inch, and it's got an inline head, and it's all cast, still got water and shit in it, so it's not. Trust me, I talk about it and I'm proud of it, but man, it ain't it ain't my dream. You know what I mean? If I had a choice, I wouldn't be racing that motherfucker. If I had a choice, I'd have a 41X or a Hemi or some shit. But right now I
Yeah.
ain't got that choice. So I gotta be proud of what I got. I'm gonna rep what I got until I get something else.
No, man. I mean, you're making that little Pontiac fly, dude, and I'm with you, man. I'm stuck with this small block Ford shit I got behind me. I mean, one day maybe I'll get one of them big ass motors, but probably not. I don't. Whatever. I don't need all that. So,
I don't
but
know if
yeah,
you
man.
need it
No,
on the street. I don't know if you need it on the street. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't using all the
you
power I
don't.
got now. So I don't know if you need it. I mean, the only reason that those motors are appealing on the street is just because 20, 30 people at that race had one. You know what I mean? Like if you broke that
Yeah.
motherfucker, somebody had a head or a part, or somebody had a short block, somebody had a motor, like,
Yep.
and they dropped the big door on that stacker and they pull it out of your car for you, just pull on up. You know what I mean? Like they probably got three of them in there.
Yep.
But it is
That's
it is
right.
appealing. Don't get me wrong, it's appealing. And Ryan and Dave both can tell you. I've talked to them at night before, been like, "Hey man, what's that thing really cost? What's the monthly on one of them?" You know what I mean? Because
The
like,
monthly.
there's nights, yeah, there's nights when I'll have a good night or I'll win some money. Hell, the motor Dave ended up buying was can't remember the dude's name from the West Coast, had that Camaro Pro Mod. But anyway, when I won Bristol, I was like, I'm leaving here. I'm gonna go get a 41X. Like I'm gonna spend all my
Yeah.
money on 41X. So it was don't I might fuck with them and make fun of them, but at the end of the day, like that's a nice ass piece, man. And
Yeah.
I wish I had one. Really, I'm hating, but I'm really just jealous, to be honest.
That's right. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm gonna keep my junk for a while too. I mean, it works okay, and I ain't trying to get that maintenance bill for maintaining a 481X either. So, them bitches are
That's healthy.
expensive to refresh, dude, and I'm kind of out on that. So, I ain't got the
Yeah,
funds.
yeah. I've
But
I've had
man,
people like I've had people trying to help me out and ask like, well, what would it take to get you in one? Or, if we got you a little money, whatever, could you do one? And to be honest with you, man, like I just don't see how. Even if somebody bought the motherfucker and handed it to me, I couldn't afford to break it. You know what I mean? Just to be honest with you, like it costs, just to freshen one up at 17, 18 passes, you gotta spend $20,000, $30,000. Like
yeah, I'm out. I'm
I ain't
out.
had the motor out of my car in 2 fucking years. I don't even take
I
the
know.
only
I
time I
got to
take the
keep the
valve
simple,
covers off
stupid.
of it is Pilgrim is
Yeah,
like working on the car. I'm like, all right, I'll take the valve cover. I'll put some plugs in it, like,
yeah,
so I can't. The way
exactly.
I race and with my program, I ain't got nobody that's gonna climb. I ain't got nobody like Javi or no badass like Johnny Dahmer's gonna climb under my car and change the rods. Like if I told Jackie to change the rods in my car after after all the shit she's already doing, pouring pimp juice and setting everything and doing all the shit to the car, like she unloads and everything. If I told her that, she told me fuck off. She
Yeah,
kick rocks. She's walking.
yeah, she done. That's where she draws the line. I ain't changing no rods out that shit. I'm done.
Yeah, if you gotta change rods on the fucking side of the road or at the racetrack, she don't want part of it. She don't want none of it. Fuck it, we don't want it. You
It
know what I
ain't
mean?
fun no more. Yeah. No. But man, speaking of rods and pistons and kicking them out and having maintenance issues and stuff, man, the fifth race of the night was Doc and Robin Roberts. And I laughed so hard because in the drivers meeting, we say Doc is racing Robin Roberts, and immediately Doc's like, "Man, I got this 20-year-old motor. I got this," and you're like, "Damn, Doc, he ain't even beat you yet."
He
And I
started that.
laughed so hard because he's
He
already making
started that
excuses.
shit quick. He started it quick, boy. As soon as he heard he drew Robert Roberts, he was like, "Man, I got this old ass car. That motor got 2,300 passes on it." Like it was. It was. I heard it. It was smoking when I pulled it out. Like I don't know. We got a couple rings down. We're gonna do a leak
Yeah.
down. Like God damn, Doc, he ain't even outrun you yet. What the like? You're a little
What the
early.
fuck? Doc has been known to have some one-liners. Like Monza has some great one-liners. Like I love Jerry's one-liners. Whereas Doc, he be saying some stuff, and it's just like you look at him, you're like, "What did you just say?" And even in this one, he called Robin Roberts a rich track racer, and called him that
Man,
like 3 or 4 times. Wow.
man. Hey, I didn't think we were gonna talk. Whenever I was watching the show last night, and I was like, when that come out of his mouth, I was like,
Yeah. I looked around. I'm like, Well, did
Like,
you hear
man,
that?
I get it. You're mad. You know what I mean? And there's certain things that plenty of people out there are thinking or whatever, but like, man, Doc will say some shit. You know what I mean? And man, Robin is such the opposite of that dude too. That's what's crazy. Is like
I know.
they're,
That's right.
you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's it was when he said that I was just like, God damn, Doc. All right, then my bad.
Yeah. He just fired it off like it was nothing, man. I had to like rewind it. I was like, damn, did he just say that? Man, yeah. Oh, yeah, he
Especially
did.
Yeah, especially because the interview before, it was Doc talking about, man, this is where the OG street dudes ought to shine. You know what I mean? Like, they, fair road, blah, blah, blah. This is where, some track dude ain't going to come out here and kick everybody's ass. And then he got his ass.
And then, damn it.
Man, I
I'll
love
be
Doc,
damned.
man. He's Doc's ride or die 405 for sure. Ain't no doubt about it. That dude, he'll unload his car anywhere I tell him to. He'll race anybody in the world for any amount of money. So, he's
That's right.
family and I'm gonna ride with him. But man, hey, sometimes when Doc opens his mouth, I'm just like,
Yep, here it comes.
yeah.
Just wait for it. Here it comes. Oh, man. But, speaking of Robin Roberts, look, I mean, he came on the scene for No Prep Kings. He did pretty well in it. I mean, his car has gotten faster, and you can't take that away from him. And you actually raced him in the second round of night number 5, I believe y'all raced. And we'll go ahead and show that now. We'll show the race between you and Robin Roberts, and then we'll talk about it. So, look, man, I've been there. I've had cars coming at me, and dude, I know your past, and I know the original Crow and the Brian Davis thing and being in a crash. I've never been in a crash as bad as you, so I can't be where you're at as you're sitting in the car watching someone come at you again. So, I know in the show you said you let out, but just kind of talk about like kind of what was going through your mind as you saw Robin Roberts like coming at you at a really fast rate of speed.
Man, honestly, if I knew what was going through my mind, I'd fix it for sure. But I don't know. Like, and I can't even, people want to talk about the Chucky thing, but I can't even blame it on that because when Chucky hit me, I didn't see him coming. You know what I mean? I didn't see nothing. I didn't know he was coming. I didn't know he crossed. All I know is, I felt it. I felt the accident move out, and then I was flipping. So, I don't know. I don't think it had anything to do with that. I just think that there's part of me that thinks after watching the video that I knew that at that spot in the road that, if he was able to ride that line and stay in it, that I would maybe I knew I wasn't gonna go around him. I don't know. It don't make no sense to me. I've thought about it. I don't know. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. And what sucks is though against the one dude too. That's what sucks. Like out of everybody there, you know what I mean? Like half the people there, they wad your shit up. You know what I mean? They can't drive. They don't know nothing. They're borrowing everybody's shit. Everything in their car ain't paid for. Their truck and trailers leased and they're hiding everything from the bank. You know what I mean? That's the way most people race. You know what I mean? Like, so one of them dudes hit you, you're just fucking, you just, if you win, you get paid on the win, but that's about it. But with Robin, man, that's probably one of the only dudes in the world besides somebody like Dwayne Mills or something that, if and he didn't even come in my lane, so there ain't like can't nobody say that he couldn't drive or whatever, and that's why you don't ever hear no shit like that from me or from my people.
Yeah.
We didn't even call him across. You watch the video, none of us called him. I didn't call him across. Jackie didn't call him because she walked up there to watch to make sure y'all called it right. But
of course,
that's just in our style, So it ain't like he was out of control or nothing. But man, of all the people there, if he did come all the way in my lane and hit me, I'd have some nice shit, dog, for real. That dude, like I got the ugliest pile of shit out there.
time
and
to get paid.
I'm worried about Robin Roberts hitting me. Shit, that's like a slip and fall at the Walmart. You know what I mean? Like shit, that's birthday money.
Done burned yourself with Mike McDonald's coffee. Done burned yourself, man. Woo, man, my neck, my back.
Yeah, so I don't know why I did it for real. I don't know, but it don't matter no more anyway because it's over. That's gone, money gone.
That's right. But man, look, dude, and Robin Roberts, he was on the line, but he didn't cross, and that was kind of the discussion from the start. You had to physically go across the white line because there's been some people that have been like, well, he touched the white line, so he crossed. I mean, he crossed. And it's like,
Now,
the rules are pretty clear in the meeting.
so when you race in somebody else's race, or when you race and like you run the race, you put the race on. So you make the rules whatever you want. You can make them as outlandish as you want, or whatever. You can do whatever you want with the rules. It's your race. But there's some rules that it don't matter if they're your rules or if they're the race rules. There's some rules that we go by on our own. You know what I mean? So like, you know, if you can't prove, and I'm not talking cameras or production crews or GoPros or none of that shit, or draggies or no GPS device. Like if you can't prove by street rules that he crossed, then he didn't cross. That's bottom line. And
Yeah,
the only way to prove in street racing, the only way to prove somebody crossed is if you can see their tire in the other lane. If they make a mark with their tire in the other lane, they crossed. If they didn't, they didn't cross. That's the way it is.
that's right. That's exactly right. And that's really what, whenever you saw me walking down the road and Jackie's right there. She wasn't saying nothing. She was just like, hey, I just want to see what the call is. And that's what she did. You're right. She wasn't all in my ear like, oh yeah, he crossed. She didn't say a word. She just
Now
wanted
that
to.
ain't us. That ain't how we do it.
Yeah.
We win and lose the same. You know what I mean? Like that's who we are, and we've done it so long, and we've been all over the world together and doing this, side by side and nonstop. And we've been on both sides of the coin. We've been on the side where everybody on the other team wins, and they shove it in the face and screaming at you and jumping up and
Yep.
down and hollering about fuck 405 and fuck y'all
Yep.
and fuck cheat and all
Yep.
shit. We've dealt with that. We've been through that, and then we've been on the flip side of the coin where the car finally makes a lick, and it ain't got nothing to do with the guy in the other lane. We're happy. You know what I mean? And I get out of the car
Yeah.
and I'm jumping up and down. But man, no matter what, it ain't got nothing to do with the other guy. We ain't putting nothing on nobody else. That's not how we roll. So, and when it comes to big races like that, we have to know that. We have to realize rules is rules and street rules is rules. I don't give a fuck what no camera says. I don't give, if we can't prove it on the street, it didn't happen. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it goes both ways. I've won like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've won when I knew I crossed. You know what I mean? I got paid when I knew I jumped. But there wasn't, and people want to talk shit about it, they can't all they want. I'm as real. I'm real. I'll be real with you forever. Like there's plenty of times I got paid that I knew I jumped.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of times that I lost races because I jumped. You know what I mean? So, and there's probably a couple of times I got called a jump that I didn't jump. But at the end of the day, it works out. Street rules work out. When you take the street rules out of it is when everything don't work out. When you start using high speed cameras and all this, when you start going that route, then you're taking the street out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You take the thing that's so cool about this is that we can govern ourselves. We can
Yeah.
make decisions as a group and
Yeah.
live with them. Like that's the cool part about street racing. When you get rid of that, man, it ain't worth doing. You might as well be the racetrack with laser beams and shit. And like you ain't got to wait for nobody to tell you who won because there's a laser beam across the finish line and a light shines
Yep.
up on the board. Like that's not what we do. We do the street because we do man shit. And not like female male. I just mean like man type shit. You know what I mean? You do something, somebody says you jumped. All right, cool. I jumped. My bad.
Yeah.
I'll try not to jump next time. But
That's right.
I'm a
That's
jump.
right.
That's what I do. I'm a jump.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for that light come on every motherfucking time. I mean, that's my
Yeah.
job, right?
That's right. If you
That's
ain't
my job.
trying, man. If you ain't
That's
trying,
my
that's
job.
right. Yep.
My job
Nah.
is to make sure that I do my job in the car. And the only way I can do my job in the car, you know, everybody's trying to read the road and they're trying to read the other guy, trying to figure out what he's doing. I'm trying to read you, Big Daddy. I'm trying to read that flagger, and I'm gonna read him every time. And I'm gonna say, okay, I think I got him. You know what I mean? I think I got him figured out. And you'll see me when I think I got you figured out. I'll get you once, and then that's when I should probably back off.
Yeah. Yep. That's
But
and that's
that's
and that's the thing,
there's
man.
very few things there's very few things that a driver can do in the race car after the work has been done, the tune-up has been sent, two cars are sitting in the road. Honestly, in a drag race, there's very few things that you can do as a driver to change the outcome of a race. You can make your car go straight, you can keep it in between the lines, you can throw the chute at the right time, you can do all that shit. But like to literally change the outcome of a race, to start before the other guy, you know what I mean? All that shit, that's my job. So, you know, people can say you gotta wait on the light, you gotta wait on the light. I don't care how many races I lose because I didn't wait on the light. If I see the light come on, I'm dead late. Dead late.
Yep.
That's my job, you know. And I'll take the ones that I lost and I'll take the ones that I've won because I win more than I lose. You know what I mean? That's all that matters. If I bet on myself every time, if I bet every dime I got on myself every time, I'm rich at the end of the year because I win more than I lose.
That's right. No, man. And it ain't nobody hating you for trying for trying as hard as you can on that light. Like you said, man, if you ain't trying to nail that light, if you're not trying to guess that flagger, you're going to lose more than you win because you can get such the advantage right there on the line. I mean, you're talking up to 3/10, and 3/10 is like ball fields, football fields on the other end. So, no, man, I'm with you. No one uh, doubts you as far as that goes. So, no, but that's great. You know, one other thing I want to talk to you about, I got two questions for you. I did watch the OG show as well, and there was a few. I believe you raced. I believe you raced Dominator on the OG show. There were some issues going on. I guess Dave had a broke car, and it's kind of some of the stuff you've been talking about race, list blocking and stuff like that. Just kind of explain more on, because some people don't understand like what happens on race night and how it's laid out. Everybody shows up and we only have a little bit of time to bust all these races off. And, if someone stops and jams it up, then you kind of jam up everything all the way down. So, I mean, kind of explain like what all went in with the show on the OG show on Monday.
Well, okay, so I have to see from two sides. I mean, I have to have two completely separate views because I'm a racer who races on the list, and I'm also the race master. So if something is, you know, if something's fucked up on the list and guys aren't getting their shot, then I got to step in at some point and, get some guys together and figure it out and go over and tell the guy like, hey, you need to race or whatever. But it's really difficult. So, the show the other night, I had just got my shit together. Like, you know what I mean? Literally
Yeah.
2 passes into having my shit together. All season,
Yeah.
I've been, shanking it. And then, boom, I finally get my shit together. And, when you finally get your shit together, all you can think about is I'm getting the crown. I'm going for the crown. I'm going to be racing for number one tonight, tomorrow night, whatever. So when you show up with that mentality and then you go down the road and you do your job, you get your call out, you do everything, then it's like when there's a bump in the road, it sucks. It really, and it hurt and it kills the crew, it kills the motivation, it kills everybody, and it kills the list above and below. Because when one guy ain't gonna race, then a lot of guys, why do I gotta fucking race then? You know what I mean? Like I got shit to do next week too. Why would I want to blow my car up tonight when I'm going to the same shit he's going to next week? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you have to. You also have to put yourself in Dave's shoes, which is the schedule, the all the things in between the last two races or whatever, So like, you know, people get frustrated in the moment, but it's hard to judge a man by 44 minutes of television. You know what I mean? So, there's plenty of moments when I've wanted to say, man, I've raced because ain't nobody on that list raced more than me a night, and that's my goal every season is to get the most amount of passes on that road by the end of the season. So I usually do my best to race 2 or 3 times a night, and you'll never see me go call somebody right back out. If I lose, I'm gonna defend before I go back.
Yeah.
That's just how I roll. But I have to lead by example. So that's kind of why why I'm able to do both, be a race master and a racer. And it's the duality is tough for sure. But there's plenty of nights when I felt like, man, I've put my heart and soul into this. I've made I've never, no one's ever seen me catastrophically fail an engine. I've never shipped parts out of. I've never not made it up to the starting line. I mean, if I have, I was going to, or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I've done so much. So when you're in that mindset of, I've went to the starting line 2, 3 seasons in a row every time. I've never missed one. Ain't nobody ever. I've never lost from the trailer. When that happens, and then you finally do break something, man, you want to say, "Fuck y'all, I ain't fucking racing, and you're not getting my
Yeah.
spot. We'll see you
Yeah.
next week." You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
and so while on television and in that moment, it jams things up or whatever, and people get pissed off and they call Dave a piece of shit or whatever. Like, trust me, I've been there. They've called me all them names too, But and on that night, I was frustrated because I wanted my shot at the top. But it's my own fault. If I wouldn't have lost 3 in a row, I wouldn't be down there. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
just because I got my shit together that night ain't got nothing to do with Dave. So
Yeah.
there's both sides of it. There's part of me that you know that wants to tell people like, you have no idea what into that week or the 2 weeks before that. You don't know. Dave might just have been on some fuck you shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. But then again, and there's 3 or 4 guys that are trying to get up there. It's like, it makes him look bad for sure. But I don't think if I know Dave, he don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dave definitely don't give a shit,
But it
and
does it does create more problems on the list because that's the list has gotten so fucking you know just I don't know, man. It's just rough, man, because it's the same. We do the same shit. We go in, we clock in, we know where we're going, we know the road we're going to, we know who we're racing. You know what I mean? And half the time, you'll know who you're racing all season. I usually race the same guys. Also, I race Dave and Ryan all season. That's who I race. You know what I mean? This season,
yeah,
I'm getting to race some other guys, but like for the most part, I always know I'm racing Dave and Ryan to the end of this season. And hopefully I come out on top. So that part gets stale, it gets repetitive, and it makes you question why the fuck am I gonna stay up all night again to put this car together to go out here and race the same goddamn guy I'm gonna race next week? You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
so that was getting to us, and that's getting to the list, and you can see it starting to now bleed out on camera. You know what I mean? You can see when you're watching it, like when I'm watching it, I can see the frustration and in the list and the things that we're having to do over and over and not getting our shots or not getting a chance or you know 3 4 weeks in between races sometimes, you know what I mean, going and having to do other no prep races or whatever, come back and go on the street. Like, it's taxing, you know what I mean, it really is. So
Yeah.
you can just see the, I don't want to call them flaws, but that's what they are. You can see the flaws in the format. As much as I hate to say it because it's my format, there are flaws in the format. If you do anything long enough, you'll find a flaw in the format. You know what I mean? And I think that that's where we're at now. Like when you're watching on TV. Hell, last week I was watching on TV and I was just like, man, like you see a couple guys lose and they're like, yeah, well, hey, we'll get them next time. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And dude, that's
Yeah.
like I can't even fathom, you know what I mean? And then like you see Dominator lose and he's one that says car on fire, you know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean? That's what it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? That's when somebody's in it, so somebody's invested. That's when and then, but it's tough when you're watching the same show and one dude is ready to set his car on fire and the other dude don't even give a shit to unload it. You know what I mean? So it's like, so, when you're watching it at your home, you're going, man, this don't make no sense. How come he doesn't give a shit and he does? Is it not the
Yeah.
same for both? You know what I mean? So we're
Yep.
just, that part, we're finding the flaws. And that's why, you'll see some big, like, I've been waiting on this moment this whole season. This is the most exciting moment for me in the last 10 years of television is right now. Like, this is the last week of the bullshit. Like,
Nice.
from here on out, all you're gonna see is motherfuckers going for it or going home. Like,
Yeah.
this is where all the shit. God, dude, I get. I get excited just thinking about it. There's the shit that you're gonna get to see on the OG show. I know this is the Mega Cash Day show. My bad. I know.
No,
I
you're
ain't trying to
fine.
get off topic, but this is the most exciting point in Street Outlaws that we've had in years. You know, I mean, the shit that we have filmed, you know, the last half of this season is truly some of the my most proudest moments of our whole group. Because, dude, by the end of this season, ain't nobody lose a race and be like, I'll get him next time. You know what I mean? By the end of this season, you lose, you go home, dog. There ain't shit
Yeah,
for you. You ain't got
yeah,
no, you know, because up until now, it's just been like, hey, they're not going to let Chief bring out any new guys anyway. So, sorry, Chief's not going to bring out any new guys anyway. So, you know, I just don't matter if I'm 10 or 5 or 4. It don't matter. I'm on the show. I still get a check. You know what I mean? That's like the way it's been. But then all of a sudden, you know, Pilgrim's like, that shit ain't working. Like, let's do something else. And then, man, boom, it just dropped a bomb. And then, man,
yeah.
ooh, that's what's coming is fucking special. It's really cool.
Well, I can tell you that, the main thing, the most important thing is your energy, because your energy, it like is contagious and it flows in the driver's meeting. Like when you're excited about shit, everybody else is excited about it. You know what I mean? So all I can say is, keep the energy, keep the excitement, dude, because, whatever the new adventure is, as long as you're like at the top excited about it, then it's going to be successful. It has to be successful and you're not going to let it fail. So, man, just hearing you be excited about it, makes me excited because I know it's going to be great. So, man,
Yeah,
look, I,
it really is. It's going to be great. But then there's those moments too. You've done plenty of drivers, man. You've done put on races. There's sometimes you can be excited, you can be pumped up and shit, and you know they still ain't gonna get excited. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, guys are just gonna be duds. You know,
yeah,
but for the most part, yeah. I mean, I get my feelings sometimes when shit don't go my way, and I clam up and I act like it don't matter or whatever. But no, I mean, dude, everything right now is the biggest shit I've ever done. Everything I do right now, hell, just this podcast, this is the biggest shit I've ever done because the shit that I'm talking about, well, for real, like the shit that I'm getting to talk about right now is some of the coolest shit I've ever done in my whole life. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I raced for 100 grand in Scottsbluff, Nebraska for months.
that's right.
You know. So right now, man, it's a great time to be alive for sure.
Well, one last question for you, kind of shifting gears. We're going to shift to no prep. And as we're moving to no prep, real
No
quick,
prep, no
yeah, no
prep.
prep. We're going to talk no prep.
I thought I
Last
thought
topic.
COVID stomped no prep out. I thought COVID stomped it out. I thought it was
No,
gone. What you mean no
no,
prep?
we are still talking no prep. And for those that are watching the podcast, real quick, if y'all want to know where we're at, where we're going to be this year, if No Prep Kings fires off by the end of the year, if you want to know where we're going to be, check out noprep.com. Have for the news, the schedule, racer profiles, get your gear. You need to check out this site because the most important part is the schedule. We are coming near you, a town near you, a track near you. So if you want to see guys like, Chief, Sean, Dave, Ryan Martin, check out the schedule on there and see where we're going to be near you. So, speaking of No Prep Kings, Chief, look, what are your plans for No Prep King if it happens? I know Pilgrim wants to do it. Like what are your plans? Do you have a special car for No Prep Kings? Are you using the Crow? Are you using the Crow mod? Like what car are you using for No Prep Kings? Let everybody know.
I only got one car. You know what I mean? Chroma don't fit the rules. So only car I got is that GTO, that pile of shit I be driving all the time. So if if the world's a scary place right now to be doing live events. So I would be nervous to go out and do that right now, but not nervous because you know of any other reason other than just being able to make enough money to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a lot of people ain't got $500 to go buy parking and
yeah,
t-shirts and shit all weekend. So,
yeah,
but if the world opens up and things start happening, then if that's where they're racing for a living, I'll be racing right there with you. You know what I mean? I just might be doing it with the same pile of shit I've always had. But now if if we get another year like we had last year, where no prep where we get a little bit of breathing room from no prep and we get to do more street stuff, then I would most certainly like to put together a more competitive no prep type car. You know what I mean? I'd much rather not be racing the same shit that I race on the street against, blown ass Hemis and shit. Like that's just insane. So, but yeah, I mean, if I get a chance, I'd love to put together a stouter combo for No Prep Kings. But man, everybody, I got new cars. I heard people build me new. I heard Jeff Lutz build me a new car. I sent him a text. I was like, man, that's thank you,
Hell
man.
yeah.
That's you, dog. Like let me know when it's done so I can come get it. So, but yeah, no, ain't nobody building me shit. If it's getting built, it's in my shop. There ain't nothing in there but my shit. So ain't no new
Yeah.
car for me. I ain't even got a new motor. I ain't got nothing. If
Yeah.
I get anything new for no prep, it'll be new tires. That's about it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, it's good to hear that you're going to participate. It was great having you at the last No Prep King season. I mean, the fans there were extremely happy to see you there. I mean, dude, and you ran right there with all those big money motors. I mean, dude, your little pile of shit car with the little small motor was right there with them, dude. So,
Hey, I got that trophy, dog. Ain't many people got that trophy. I promise. There's a
I ain't got a
lot of
trophy.
people. A lot of big name people out there that have been racing No Prep King for 3 seasons, whatever. I come in my first season, I got that trophy. I mean,
That's right.
if it's gonna pay 40 grand to win, what I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be there, and I may not have the best shit there is or whatever, but if they slip up, I mean, just almost look like they're gonna slip up. I'll take it from them. You know what I mean, in a
That's right.
heartbeat. So
That's right, man. Chief, real quick before we let you go, like, what's your page? What's your web page? What's your Facebook page? What's your Instagram? Like, let all these people know. Where can I buy a Big Chief T-shirt? Where can I buy a Midwest Street Car T-shirt? Because support from the fans is what keeps these cars going. So let everybody know, like, what your web
it ain't
pages
just
are.
a car. It ain't just a car. That's what keeps everything going. That pays everything. Like, you buy a shirt, that don't just keep the car going. That pays everything. So
Yeah.
MidwestStreetCars.com is where you can come into the office here, get your stuff here. You can go on the website, MidwestStreetCars.com, buy shirts, hats, koozies, keychains, whatever you want. Like, we got it all. And then if we go to a race, obviously buy it in person. I'll sign it for you or whatever. And then we always got something fun in the shop. Anytime I take a part out of something, I'll sign it, put it up front. So there's always something creative up there to buy if you swing by the shop. And we're open usually till I think 8 every night. But yeah, shipping, we ship out every day. We ship out all over the world. So MidwestStreetCars.com, we always got you hooked up on the merch. Get that 405. Where is it? That 405. Yeah, get that 405 on you.
Yeah. So. Awesome, man. Hey, I'm only going to pull one comment from the comment stack over here, and it is Chief going to ever have an OnlyFans?
Man, y'all, you never know. I might. You wouldn't even know it, huh? Get that
That's
beard on
right.
you. That beard on you. Oh, you don't even know. Now, if I get an OnlyFans, it'll be, so we sell that sex tape, whenever this TV thing, we've been practicing, we've been practicing. We
Oh,
got
good.
we working on the lighting, we got the stuff going on. She working on her acting skills. She a little soft on the acting, but she coming around. I'll be coming in with a tool belt and shit every once in a while, just fuck with it. So whenever she's dying. Whenever this TV shit don't work out, they quit sending me them paychecks for TV. We're gonna release it. It's gonna be a Chief and Jackie OnlyFans, and then and it'll have a guest starring Sean every once in a while. He'll come over in the hot tub. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
That's right, man. Hey, it sounds to me like you got plans for the comeback for the podcast is what I'm hearing. Whenever this TV stuff don't work out no more, the podcast coming
Man,
back.
I got exit strategies, baby. I got exit strategies.
Man, Chief, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for joining me. I think that's going to end our night. Anything else that you would like to say to your wonderful fans in the comment section?
No, I love y'all, man. I love y'all. I don't get to say much, so when I do, people listen, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't do a lot of interviews. I don't do a lot of stuff, and so when I do, I like to do the shit that I want to do, which is this right here with my boy Brewster, who I've known for 20 fucking years because of street racing. You know what I mean? We both we racing for a living, so you know it's all because of them people over there in the comments and people that watch and even the haters and even people who say all the nasty shit about us. You know, it's because of them too. I love y'all too. Say what you want, baby. Just spell my name right.
That's right. That's right. Spell his name right. All right, man. Hey,
All right, man.
we're going to sign off. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. We'll let you get back to it. Later, Chief.
Love you, baby. See you, man.
Yep. Love you. See you, man. We'll see y'all. Y'all take it easy.